Imagine a world where Team Rocket didn't lose. A world where Giovanni never disappeared, where trainers live in fear and Pokemon aren't partners but property. Team Rocket taking over every single town of the region, patrolling all day. Today we're diving into an alternate timeline, the darkest Pokemon future where Team Rocket actually wins in the games. First appearing in Pokemon Red and Blue, their goal was to steal Pokemon in order to profit. They distributed Pokemon as prizes through the Rocket Game Corner, and even had a hideout underneath. If the trainer lost to Giovanni in the last room, he wouldn't give the Silph Scope. Then the casino's operation grows, directing more money into their weapons and technology. Celadon City becomes Rocket's first stronghold, and they could also bribe trainers into joining them, even Gym Leader Erica of Celadon City either being driven out or forced to comply. The Silph Scope item Giovanni didn't give when the player lost wouldn't allow them to identify the ghost Pokemon in the tower. Lavender Town would become a ghost town in a literal sense. The ghost would stay in the tower. As you may know, the spirit is Marowak, the same one Team Rocket had killed. But the player can still progress to the story if they had a Pokédoll. It skips the Marowak's ghost battle entirely. If the player doesn't intervene in this tower, Team Rocket would eventually take over and be used as a rocket research facility, where they could also experiment on ghost types and conduct genetic experiments. Onwards, Giovanni shifts his focus to Silph Co., the #1 place for Kanto's technology. His main focus is on Master Ball research. If Giovanni won again, or the player had not infiltrated the Silph Co., Team Rocket mass produces these Master Balls. They could take any Pokemon away from people without fail, because they're just producing at such a fast rate. And instead of just one rocket invasion, Silph Co. becomes their permanent headquarters. With their extreme power, they will make the main character work for them as a grunt. Now the player has fallen into their hands, carrying out their orders and stealing Pokemon from people. Scientists can be ordered to create stronger artificial Pokemon similar to Mewtwo. Since we know Silph has the technology to mass-produce Pokeballs, they could also create new inventions, like control chips that are used to brainwash Pokemon into obeying Team Rocket, or even shadow Pokemon experiments. So practically, Team Rocket has taken over all of Kanto, but what about Johto? What if they also won in that region? Well, let's say the Slowpokes are not going to have a fun time. This new Team Rocket started off by kidnapping Slowpokes from Azalea Town and holding them captive to create rain. Also, they sold its tails for $1 million. Executive Proton carries out this mission in the Slowpoke well. The Pokemon would have returned to town if the player defeated them, but nope. This is a timeline where the player loses every time. So Executive Proton and his grunts still have their Slowpokes. Eventually, chaos occurs in Mahogany Town, led by executives Petrel and Ariana. Team Rocket sets up a secret machine emitting high-frequency sound waves. These sound waves forcefully make the Lake of Rage Magikarp evolve to Gyarados. All of them would become wild and uncontrollable, causing lots of destruction and rampage. The final wave occurs in Goldenrod City. Johto has become disastrous at this point, first the Slowpokes and now the Gyarados. In order for Team Rocket to get into contact with their former leader Giovanni, they hijacked the radio tower in Goldenrod City. The real leader, Archer, was in the underground and beat the player in a match. Once Team Rocket had controlled major cities like Goldenrod and Mahogany Town, they could go anywhere to install power since they have executives now too. The capture station manager would be forced to work under Rocket's orders to keep the station running, including propaganda for the citizens. Team Rocket is not disbanded once again. Giovanni would hear the message from his executives and return, taking control of both Johto and Kanto. They also continue on Sevi Islands and firered leafgreen, putting Pokemon in cages. Rather than defeating the Elite Four, Team Rocket could force them to join their ranks. They might blackmail each member, ensuring their loyalty. Or the Elite Four could just stay in the Pokemon League but protect Team Rocket's operations, secretly working for Giovanni. For example, Lorelei oversees the control of water Pokemon, ensuring that trainers can't challenge Rocket's authority of the sea. Bruno might be used for strength and muscle, working with the Rocket's grunts. Agatha could use her ghost types to enforce fear across the regions, and Lance leverages his powerful dragon types to keep the world in check. It was implied that a Team Rocket worker tried to establish again in Unova, but gave up because he got married. He's in Isurus City with his wife and son. Team Rocket is also mentioned by Team Plasma Grunt in En's castle, claiming their plans were crushed because they drew too much attention to themselves. But if Team Rocket actually took over Unova and joined forces with Team Plasma, it would create one of the most dangerous alliances in the Pokemon world. They both desire to control Pokemon, and Team Rocket would use Plasma's technology to control legendary Pokemon and enforce their rule. Giovanni and Jetsis are both power-hungry masterminds, and they could each have a legendary Pokemon under their control like Mewtwo and Kyurem, leading to unstoppable battles. The Pokemon game turned everything into a reality in Ultra Sun and Moon. Introducing Team Rainbow Rocket. This is an alternate universe where plans have succeeded, and it's not just Giovanni coming in, it's every villain team leader, so even Maxie and Archie. Giovanni would have built an army of Ultra Beasts and conquered the multiverse. The player is defeated and Giovanni doesn't leave, staying with every other villain leader to take over Alola now. Almost everything bows down to Team Rocket, gym leaders, champions, even legendary Pokemon. No more heroes or resistance, their victory is complete.